Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Bryan with another knife review for you. Today we have the Spyderco Chaparral Lightweight, the newest addition to the Chaparral line. If you guys know anything about the Spyderco Chaparral, it is mostly marketed as kind of a small gentleman's folder. As you can see, again, these are all 1-inch squares. This is a fairly small knife. All the other ones are about the same size, but they come with like exotic frame materials or titanium. They're like in the $125 to $350 range. Pretty expensive for a knife this size. This one is 81 bucks, and as you can figure out by the catchy name, lighter weight than the other ones. This is an FRN handle with CTS XHP steel. As I said, 81 bucks. Still made in the outstanding Taichung factory in Taiwan, which if you're a Spyderco nerd, you know that a lot of the best ones come out of there. So, a great little knife. As I said, I really like a lot. Let's just get into the quality. Let's just get to that right away, because as I said, the Taichung ones are usually some of the best, and this one is really, really good. Just look at these are completely, totally flush between the spacer and the FRN. They use their own kind of unique FRN pattern, which I like a lot. Get into that later. Blade centering is absolutely perfect. Here we go, which is pretty hard to do on a blade this thin. Very supremely well made, and just a great little knife. Let's get into the specs before we get going here, before I lose my tiny little mind. We are looking at an overall length of 6.4 inches, blade length of 2.8, but obviously the usable cutting edge is much less than that. You're looking more like 2 1/4 for that. Blade thickness, very, very thin at 0.8 inches. Everything about this knife is very, very thin. That's kind of the running thing of this. The handle thickness, you're looking at only 0.32 inches. Very thin handle. Yes, this is a very, very thin. This is like one of the Olsen twins versions of a knife. This is very, very thin and very, very light. You do have right hand, left hand tip-up only carry. You have the standard Spyderco back lock, opening and closing on it. And it's a weight of, we'll verify it even here, because it does have full steel liners. Let's get out of the way. A lot of the FRN models don't have the full steel liners. This does have full steel liners. And you still have a weight of 2.07 ounces, according to my scale. So that's pretty light, especially considering it's got full steel liners. I like the full steel liners on it. It makes you able to do a little more stuff. I feel more comfortable beating on this a little bit more. The blade's a little thinner than some of the other ones, but speaking of some of the other ones that I'm going to talk about in this review, let's do some comparisons. Let's first of all look at it against the Delica 4. It is smaller than a Delica 4. A knife that a lot of people will compare this to would be the Dragonfly. Unfortunately, I don't have a Dragonfly on hand at the moment, but I do have a Bird Robin 2, which is the Bird lower price Spyderco version of that, so the size is going to be pretty similar. So it's a little bigger than that. And another knife that is going to be compared to a whole lot now, and one that I compare it to a lot because I own both of them and I can't figure out which one I like more, is the Spyderco Little Native. A little longer than a Little Native, but much, much, much thinner. And this thing keeps turning off on me. And boot it back up again. There we go. And this is a little heavier. So, but it has compression lock and all that good stuff. What else do you want to compare it to? Here's another one it's just a little bit smaller than a full-size Native. I don't know what all that oil is on there. I guess I must have over-oiled it last time I had it out. A little smaller than a full-size Native 5. And just to get something not Spyderco. I'm sorry, a lot of these small knives I have right now just happen to be Spydercos. But this is your Benchmade Mini Griptilian. So just a ticky-boo smaller than a Mini Grip. All right. Now, let's talk about the action on this thing. This is I want to preface this by saying I love the action on this. It is awesome now. The first couple days I had it, It was not. It was a little stiff. All I did was put a couple drops of nano oil in it, and the back lock was very stiff. And I thought about tearing it apart and bending the spring and all that. I've done that before on some other stuff, other backlock Spydercos, but I didn't. All I did was, honestly, I put some gloves on and I just sat there and went like this for about 10 or 20 minutes, and it loosened up. And now, oiling and doing that to loosen the spring a bit, it's great. Opening, I mean, it is a backlock Spyderco. None of them are really... I can flip it open, but not with this tripod in the way. You have to put a pretty dramatic thing to flip it open. I don't usually even try to do that. I don't try to do that with a Delica or either. I just open it, you know. But it will fall shut when it's... Yeah, it's the action on it now is really smooth and really good. Now, after playing with it for a couple weeks and spending some time to loosen up that spring, put a little oil in it, now it is the best action backlock Spyderco that I've ever used. So it's not going to be fall shut like the little native is. You know, the little native, you can just open it up and then just, you know, it falls right shut again. This is never going to be like that. It's a backlock Spyderco. It's not going to be. It's not a compression lock or anything like that. But I'm very happy with the action on it. I really am. Now, let's look at the ergonomics of it. It's pretty good. With this thin of a blade handle, I was kind of like, you know, it's going to feel good in the hand, but it does feel pretty good. You can hold it in your normal saber grip like this, and it's, yeah, my back, again, these are large size gloves, but skinny fingers, and it is off the back a little bit, but not too bad. But when you choke up, it's really good. It's very comfortable. I really like it. And kind of veering off the ergonomics for a second, I think that's very good for this particular blade because, as I said, this is a very thin blade, XHP steel, which is, as I said, or as you may know, if you're a blade steel nerd like me, XHP is kind of like, you can compare it to like D2, but a little less corrosion resistant, or something like 440C, but much harder. Which is, both of those are good things to me. I like D2, but the corrosion resistance is occasionally annoying, where this has really good corrosion resistance and just as hard as D2. So a great steel. And out of the box, this may be the sharpest knife I've ever gotten out of the box. It is wicked sharp. I know when I reviewed the little native, I called it a box opening champion. I called it a box opening champion. It's Christmas time. I've been opening a whole lot of packages. This is the package opening champ. Opening packages, letters, stuff like that, things you do every single day. This thing is so sharp and so slicey, right through it. I cut up an apple with it the other day. I don't usually even eat apples, but I had a desire for one. We had some in the fridge. I cut one up. Wow, like butter. I mean, this thing is a great little slicer. Now, it is a very thin blade with a very thin tip. Not something you can do heavy-duty things with. Again, this blade shape and this knife overall was designed as a gentleman's knife. It's not designed to go hacking an acres of cardboard or, you know, whittling with. It's just not what it's designed for. You have to think about what it's designed for, but yeah. So I digressed a bit off into the blade about that, but I want to talk about just how great this blade is. And I love the FRN on this too, is getting back to the ergos where I was originally talking about. I really like this texture of FRN. Let's compare how it's different. This is the Delica 4. You're going to see this pattern more. So you can see the pattern's a bit different on the Taichung FRN compared to this is the Seki City, Japan FRN, or even, we'll pull out this is the Golden, Colorado FRN. You can see a lot different pattern there, and I really like it. It's not quite as aggressive, but it still feels like it works just as well. So I'm a big fan of the pattern they chose for the Chaparral lightweight. I really do like that. And now, as far as the carry goes, while we're into an ergonomic sort of topic, the carry on this thing is just ridiculous. It's so good. Wire, deep carry pocket clip. Spyderco, I don't know why everyone else doesn't do this. They put their logo on here so that the clip itself is riding on a smooth part, so it doesn't tear your pants up pulling it in and out. And it's just so thin, and at 2 ounces, so light, that I put it in, as I always say, being around that fifth pocket of my jeans or in the regular pocket of my jeans, wherever I put it, you forget that it's there. It's just so thin. So my only worry is if this thing falls in my pocket, I'm not going to notice. It's so light and so thin. As I've said about other knives, it's going to go through the wash someday. I just know it. I'm going to leave it in my pants, and it's going to get put through the washing machine. But, oh, I really, really love it. I really do love how it carries. It's just such an awesome knife to carry around. You can just put it in your pocket and forget about it. Nice deep carry. Nobody else is going to see it either. Everyone else will forget about it too. Very, very good. I love the Spyderco wire pocket clip. I wish they did that on more stuff. It carries fantastically and fits in the hand pretty good. It's not as great as the little Native. Not as good as a Delica, but pretty darn good. And for the tasks I use this for, I just love that thin little blade. All right, let's get into some cutting. Bragging about that thin little blade. This is 2 weeks of use, and I've been using the hell out of it to open packages and all kind of stuff that should have dulled it. But they haven't. It still slices like a dream. I really, really like this knife for the purposes I use it for. Is it what I use it for my EDC going out in the woods? No, but that's not what it's meant for. It's a great around the house, the typical EDC things that a person actually does, not the things you fantasize about doing. Opening packages, cutting up fruits, some mild food prep stuff. It's awesome for that. Now, prying open something, it's not good for that because this blade's pretty thin. But really, really enamored with this knife. It's really wormed its way into my cold little heart, and I will never get rid of it. And at $81, pretty good value. $81 for XHP and a Taichung made Spyderco. It's a good gateway drug to Taichung Spydercos, and that's probably what it's going to be for me, because I've said this before. This is my first Taichung Spyderco, and I get it. I get why everybody loves them so much. It's just like, this is comparing it to the Delica 4, which is also FRN, or even the Golden Colorado Native 5. I can feel the quality difference just as soon as you pick it up. It does feel like a more quality piece. Not that there's anything wrong with these two. These two still feel pretty good, but this feels great. So Taichung quality, XHP steel, and a very good, slim, easy to carry package. This is a really great knife, and I highly recommend it, especially if, like me, I'm often a 2-knife guy, especially in the wintertime. This is one of my favorite second knives to carry around. This and the little Native alternate back and forth, but really, really love this for that fifth pocket kind of carry. Highly recommend it. The Spyderco Chaparral Lightweight. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up. I've been Brian. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one.